My name is Camille Smith, but that's not important. More importantly, I was adopted by Rachel in 2019. I didn't know I needed a second mom, let alone a mom at school, but Rachel knew. She always knows. Throughout high school, Rachel has remained the designated mom friend of our friend group, providing comfort and empathy for me and everyone in Mrs. Seeger's room. In addition to her mom friend role, Rachel is also a plant mom. She is naturally caring towards the environment, and I truly believe she can save the planet someday. Her love for nature also extends to her job as a professional cat mom, as she cares for one of the moodiest cats in the world, Oliver. Ultimately, Rachel is a loving, kind, intelligent, and passionate friend of mine. I don't know where I would be without her, and her guidance is something I'm going to miss and cherish next year. Now, put your hands together for the one, the only, Rachel Fiona Larkins.
During my freshman year, I learned a lesson that I still battle with today. It was my first year at St. Mary's, and everything felt far outside my comfort zone. I was the only one from my middle school going here, and I had no clue whatsoever what I was jumping into. As a new freshman, I was required to take French to fulfill my language credit. I was put into a class with most of the other new freshmen who had also just started at St. Mary's. Shout out to Le Fou. One class period, Miss Bowers decided to teach us something not quite directly relating to the French language. Instead, she showed us several of the Brené Brown TED Talks and taught us that even an attempt at vulnerability was brave. She wanted to encourage us to be okay with being wrong in class, and as a homework assignment for the next few weeks, she asked us to truly think about what vulnerability looked like and felt like for ourselves. She assigned us to push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, and I don't think I really understood at the time how being vulnerable could be something beneficial to me. My mind was continually stuck on the idea that being vulnerable meant letting down your guard and really showing others how truly horrified you are. What Brené calls the magic sentence specifically stuck out to me from one of these videos. The sentence is, "The story I tell myself." I believe that most people's brains choose to write a narrative and believe a story that makes it easiest to protect themselves. This is where vulnerability comes into play. To be vulnerable means to rethink the stories we tell ourselves all day and choose that one that might feel insecure or unsettling. With a raging addiction to perfectionism, this great life lesson was never easy for me to understand. I never really felt like I could loosen the clenching grip on everything in my life which I could control, never realizing that succumbing to faith was an option. I always told myself one story without even considering the possibility that I could change this story. Over the past summer, I pushed myself to take this leap of faith. I drove myself all the way to Dauphin Island, Alabama, and participated in a week-long coastal fisheries camp. And on the 6-hour drive, all I could think about was the story I had already planned to tell myself. This story strictly consisted of how I was far too scared of meeting new people, and everyone probably already negatively judged me, and the whole week was going to be a mess, and I was already miserable before even arriving. Thankfully, I was paired with the perfect roommate I could have possibly had. Sophia is the dictionary definition of kindness and wholeheartedness. Her exuberance was electric and filled the whole room with energy, and there was one thing that made her the perfect roommate for me. It was the fact that she was extroverted. She immediately asked me deep and thoughtful questions and truly spent time getting to know who I was as a person, emotions and all. We immediately became very close, and she taught me how to be vulnerable and how to open the door to opportunities of deep conversations about shared passions. As the week went on, I made it my goal to be vulnerable with other campers and create relationships with people. Safe to say, I built a strong, honest, and vulnerable friendships, which I still hold on to today. I realized that for 1 week, something that truly seemed impossible most of my life was made simple, surrounded by those who were nearly strangers. While this was really exciting and totally felt like a breakthrough moment for me, I could not tell you that I'm 100% vulnerable every day, and I'm really good at practicing this, because I'm not. I still hold back and tell others stories which I believe are the ones people want to hear. I wish I could also say vulnerability gets easier with practice, but it never does. Every time I face my fears, I still feel uncomfortable, my hands sweat, and I fumble over myself. And being comfortable in this place of fear and uncomfortability is where I have found true joy and growth within myself. Does being extremely anxious and uncomfortable make being vulnerable seem impossible? Yes, it does. But thank goodness you never have to do it alone. I'm so grateful to have so many wonderful people in my life who truly help me feel like I can be vulnerable. And finally, thank you to all of the band kids. I love you all so much. Thank you.